up on today's episode of Technoid. The iPhone 9 might be coming in April? Who would have thought? The iPhone 12 is reportedly going to be delayed. I'll have more information on that. And AirPower might be coming back? Who would have thought that? All of that and more on today's episode, so stay tuned. Hey, what is up everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Now guys, I hope you all having an excellent day. So far I've kept consistent with my daily uploads. We're gonna keep doing this. I'm loving it guys. I'm having a great time on YouTube. So welcome back everybody to another edition. I hope you all are having an excellent day. Myself, I've been, been all right. Not really much to do here. I guess you could say I've gone a little bit mad, but all right, let's start the episode. So, story number one, let's kick it up, Apple. Now today guys, I want to disclaim something. Before I give the news, I want to know from this point forward, most of the news you're going to hear is not coming from the media. From now on, I'm going to be reporting from where the news is coming from, and today all the stories are credible and given to us by John Prosser from Front Page Tech. I apologize if I said his last name wrong, but listen guys, John has stepped his game up to a whole other level this year. If you had told me last year that Front Page Tech would be the most reliable source right now in the tech community, I probably would have said you could paint me pink and call me Samantha. Like literally, John is on top of everything right now. He has been releasing rumors and Apple's been finding out about it and they're getting pissed off. So it shows how credible and reliable he has become as a leaker, as a reporter, as a journ, for everything. And honestly, John does his own thing with Front Page Tech, so he definitely has his own show. But for me, I want to just report on the news because that's where most of the news is coming from. So to all the news media outlets trying to spin it, trying to give your version to try to put some input, let me give you a little bit of advice. What John has been able to do for the whole tech community as a whole has been more impactful than your clickbaits will ever be for the average viewer. So just think about that when you write your next article. And with that out of the way, I want to give a big shout out again to John. You have definitely stepped up your game, my man. You honestly, I will say, to most tech creators, you are an inspiration. To me, you are definitely, and I got to give you mad respect, man. So props to that. But anyway, let's get it going. So story number one, let's kick it up with the iPhone 12. So as you know, the iPhone 12, according to John and his sources, so the sources are telling John and he is reporting these, basically the iPhone 12 is going to be delayed. Now, that's not a shocker, but how far can we expect a delay? If I had to give a prediction, I would say around October, November. Let me explain. First thing I will say is, it says it clearly, they're not working on prototypes because of the situation that's happening in the world right now. That's number one. Number two, if they were working on the iPhone 12 Pro, by now things would have started to ramp up. Production would have been on the prototypes, things would have been in its favor. But because of what's happening right now, it only makes sense for Apple to want to delay the iPhone 12 and just get other things out of the way and then release it once things start to get better. So the iPhone 12 will definitely be delayed, and honestly, I'm not surprised by that. But the next thing kind of caught me off guard because I really didn't think they were going to do this. Apple is also reportedly going to be releasing the iPhone 9. In another tweet by John, he says that they have started production, they're basically into mass production and might be ready to go by April. Now, on the one hand, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, how can the iPhone 9 be ready? Well, it's simple. The iPhone SE2 and iPhone 9 productions had been in talks since a few months before things got worse. So chances are their prototypes had already gotten pretty much on the spot. That's one. Number two, it is going to be the cheapest iPhone on the market, and Apple definitely has to oblige, just like the tweet says. They have stockholders and obligations, and their stocks are considerably going down. So it makes sense for them to keep pushing out products. They did release the iPad Pro, but hardly that's gonna make a big dent in the market. So by releasing a cheaper iPhone, it makes all the sense. And honestly, I can see that, but I can tell you right now, it's not gonna be a big hot seller right now. Maybe in a couple months later, yes. But right now, it's not gonna really do anything because of the current situation. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nobody is worried about a new phone. They are worried about keeping themselves safe, having necessity items over things like that. So iPhone 9 might be coming in April, and if it does, I am honestly going to say I'm give Apple props. Now, the last story is the last Apple story, then we'll move on to Samsung. AirPower is coming back from the dead, supposedly. Now, according to another tweet by John, apparently Apple is considering bringing back AirPower. They haven't given up on it. Now, this is something I like to hear. This is the Apple I know, that they don't give up on a problem and they continue to work to solve it. Now, the last version of AirPower didn't work out well due to overheating, all of the coil design that they tried to do, and it didn't work. And as a result, they canned the project. I was really disappointed because I never knew Apple as a quitter. They would continue to work and they would never give up on a problem. And this is the Apple that I know because they are reportedly working on prototypes of a newer AirPower. The biggest struggle right now with this device is the Apple Watch charger because they want to make everything perfect. So I loved what they showed off with AirPower. Had I still been an Apple user, I still would probably buy it, but I don't know. For a wireless charging mat, it depends. But the technology they were going to do, the software integration with the products, and the idea of just placing it all over the mat was cool. Now, there are other mats like the Slice Charger Pro, Xvidea, things I've talked about where some of them are multi-coil, but nothing to like this degree. And I really hope Apple can nail it. They want to give these users the best experience, which is why they're working on this. And honestly, I gotta give Apple some credit. Where everybody likes to trash Apple, likes to talk crap about Apple, they know how to make an experience work, even if it costs an arm and a leg. So that's all the Apple news. iPhone 12 delay, iPhone 9 probably coming out in April, and the AirPower 2 project is back up. Now, one last thing to mention about AirPower is Apple is doing this, according to John, in order to push a portless iPhone. That is something I definitely agree with, and I definitely could see Apple doing that because they do not want to use USB-C. Priority to them is try not to give in. USB-C will not be profitable for them. A proprietorship port like the Lightning charger makes more money for them. Now, honestly, as much as that sounds retarded, and if Apple does that, that's gonna be dumb, I would honestly rather them keep Lightning than to remove the port altogether because wireless charging is just not there yet. I'll make a separate video on tomorrow's episode why I think Apple going portless is a bad idea, but it probably isn't inevitable. So I'll save that for tomorrow. But anyway, that's it for Apple. Let's get it going to Samsung. So Samsung, as you know, are working on a few things and they're trying to, pick up the pace. With an iPad Pro release, they got to release something similar. Oh boy, Samsung. Why? They made a Tab S6 Lite. Now, on the one hand, it is a lighter version and a cheaper version of the Tab S6. Few cutbacks here and there. These are just press releases. There's no official breakdown yet, although tomorrow I'll have more information. But that would be all great, but then they came out with another tablet, and that's supposed to be $237 and it's supposed to be cheaper? So, time out. Samsung, what exactly are you trying to do? Are you trying to take over the tab market, or are you just making tablets and stuff based off of your smartphones? It makes absolutely no sense why they're making two different tablets of the same variant, and then you have one budget, one expensive, one that's supposed to be maybe the Air version of the tab? I don't know. It is confusing, but it is an interesting thought that they are trying to expand their market, try to get more people into their tablet, and honestly, they make a good piece of hardware, so props to where props is due, but this is confusing as all hell. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, this was a long episode. I was really hesitant on making this episode because of what people might think, but you know what? I just said, screw it, let me do it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, guys, take care, stay safe, and peace.